Hello everyone and welcome to Formula Racing League. This is Chaos, your broadcaster, and I'm coming to you live from Canada. Mostly because I live here, but also because we're racing here. It's a large country, so I'm still very far away from this location, but it's fictional, so it really doesn't matter at all. We've got 15 drivers here, with potentially more to arrive during qualifying. We've got Raro, Kenny, Fijidomo Flex, Taylor, Funk, Red Baron, RFX Rafa, Get Dunked, Brother John, El Sucio Dan, T Goldie, Cam Bourne, Nameless Nate, J.O. Patel, and Prestige. We've got a couple just making their way out right now, so why don't we go on board with our current championship leader. It's one, the only, Flex. So Flex has been putting on a real show as of late. He is leading this championship by a full 28 points right now. So thus far, he has got this massive streak of wins. Although it was somewhat interrupted by Baku, but Baku has, by our current judgment, been excluded due to absurd amounts of desync that happened. So hopefully we're not going to be running into any of that today. Meanwhile, in second place, we have Kenny LaFleur, who remains in the pits. Kenny, of course, likes to run late in the qualifying, often plays with fire a little bit there, but he's been able to really bring a challenge here, but he's starting to fall further and further behind Flex. Kenny needs to be able to do something to start pulling him in. Alright, the warm-up lap is on its way through, and we're going to see what's going to happen here. Hello to everyone in the chat. Good to see you guys. And here we go. Flex begins his hot lap. Coming into turn 1, making his way around the far corner. Slowly putting on the power, and here we go. Actually, why don't we get a little bit more data in here. Takes it down to third, second gear. Alright, now we make our way through Sector 2, down through what's almost a straight down this secondary section of the track. The second of 3 DRS zones. And he makes his way around, coming up towards the famous hairpin. And then power on. And now here we have a big long bomb down the back straight. Braking late just before 100 meters, as tight as you dare, avoiding the Mur de Quebec. And Flex comes through with a 109.798. Now let's go into Raro, who's going to be starting an outlap right now. So Raro, definitely going to be looking for some results today. He's coming out here on the soft tires. So he's not going to be playing around with the mediums or anything like that. He knows that he wants to qualify as high as he possibly can. Oh, and looks like the lap has been disallowed by that corner gut, so he's going to back off and perhaps try another. Let's see who else is coming around here. It looks like we've got Fijidomo. Fiji also looking for some big results. We know. Oh, well, that's not optimal. Taylor Funk coming through. Why don't we ride on board with Taylor as he is set at 110.9. Still just about 1.1 seconds off of the current pole holder in Flex. But Taylor Funk is the first to bring a close challenge here. Coming back around to Raro, and it looks like he's going to be working to set another lap here. Alright, we're on our way. Carrying as much speed as he can, down to first gear, very low, wants to use as much of the track as possible while accelerating, get the power on while still turning. Big cut at this corner. And another one on this side to carry as much speed as you possibly can through that section. Now here we go, coming in, little grandstand here, cut right up on there, and then get the power up. Big risk of spinning here, but he keeps under control, making his way down through the bottom straight, goes underneath the bridge, comes through, and it's another one of these little chicanes that just define the Circuit Shield Villeneuve. Now coming up, slight incline as he makes his way out towards the hairpin, comes around, he's a little deep, maybe a meter off of the apex there. Doesn't take too much to the exit, and he puts the power down. Alright, and now here he is, chasing down, I believe that's T Goldie just ahead of him. Making his way out, far off to the left side, and then brakes hard, cuts just as much as he does. Oh, just centimeters from the wall there, and Raro comes through here, and he is going to set. Is that time disallowed? Oh, there we go, second place, it's a 110.7. Which puts him 1 second off of Flex's pole time, and Raro up into second place. Keep in mind though, Taylor Funk did set his time on medium. Prestige, still holding fourth position. And here we have Red Baron. Doing some long runs. Is he just doing a little bit of practice time here? Because there's just some old softs that he's running. But that pushes him up into 5th position. Looks like that was El Sucio Dan making his way out from the pits. El Sucio Dan definitely going to be a challenger. Keep in mind, Dan is a reigning champion here. He's been gone for the first couple of races, but I think that Dan could really throw a bit of a twist into this championship, which is seen thus far. Flex just running away with things. Rafa just racing his way around to set his first flying lap. Alright, let's follow El Sucio Dan as he is going to be setting his first flying lap here. Currently one of the 3 drivers who's not yet set a time. Nice line, carrying a ton of speed through here. Looking real good. Late braking, wide line. Cuts over the apex nicely. Keeps the power. And there we go. Now, a little moment to take a breather as we come onto the bridge. Braking just around the 75-meter mark. And carrying a ton of speed through here. This is looking like a very, very nice lap from El Sucio Dan. Making his way up to the hairpin. Brakes nice and late. Carries it in a little bit deep out on the apex, but he's going to be able to carry a bit of speed through that corner and launch himself through. That is a moment where a car was there and then was not. That is a little alarming, but fortunately it didn't disrupt El Sucio Dan's lap. Comes through, hits the brakes, cuts over, gets away with it, and now we come up. Is he going to be able to beat Flex here? This is going to be a very, very close fight, and he's... Oh, there we go. He's P3 for El Sucio Dan. And we've got a top trio who are definitely looking to be head and shoulders above the others in this race today. Flex, Kenny LaFleur, and El Sucio Dan. Kenny not playing around with qualifying today. Alright, here we go, as Rafa is going out to set his first flying lap. So with so many of these corners, it's all about getting nice corner, cutting the corner as tightly as you can possibly get away with. Oh, and the lap is disallowed. RFX Rafa's lap is disallowed. So it's just Rafa and brother John. who've not yet set. Brother John going out on mediums here. Going to see if he can get into the top 10 on mediums. Give himself a nice little strategic option. So of course you have to be a little bit more cautious on these tires. Let's see how he does. Nice big cut over the apex there. Using as much of the track as he can. DRS open on time. Makes his way through. Stays nice and far to the left side as he comes in here. There we go. Again, carrying speed. Not quite as much as we've seen from some others, but carrying some nice speed, especially given that he's on those medium tires. Braking just past the 100. Here we go. Turning in. Right on the apex. And then making his way around. Carrying the speed. Now this is all about your control under acceleration. Making his way along. 100 meters. Here we go. Oh, and the lap is disallowed. That's not going to be a lap from Brother John. That's going to be frustrating for him. Red Baron set to be going up for another lap. But let's take a look at Flex, who's going to be going out and working on building a new lap. His best is currently 109.798. And he's going to want to clear because he only has a 1/10 gap back to Kenny LaFleur. So at this point in the season, Flex has really been looking very, very impressive. He's looked quite dominant. There hasn't really been a single challenger who's been able to consistently stand up to him every single race. But we do have a couple of very threatening drivers here. Kenny and El Suciadan, of course, big challengers. But we've also had both Brax brothers. Unfortunately, we're missing two of them today. Alright, Flex making his way along. And that's not going to be the lap that he needs. Wait, pardon me. I stand corrected. That's a 109.57. So he did still take off another just about 3/10. El Suciadan making his way out of the pits. And I believe that's RFX Rafa. So we've got Rafa and Dan coming out at the exact same time here. Rafa in a hurry. Just cooking those tires up, getting everything ready so that he can set the best possible lap. But he's getting into a dangerous position here. Rafa doesn't want to find himself stuck in the back. We saw that fight with Paradox back in Spain that was because he was further back than his base would have otherwise suggested. Flex appearing to be disconnected for the moment. Hopefully, Rafa is able to get through without too much issue. Oh dear! Is there any damage on Rafa's car there? Well, that glitch is extremely annoying, so we will go on board with El Suciadan instead. Shout out to everyone in the chat channel right now. Alright, let's see what ESD can do. Oh dear, we're getting some telltale signs of desync here. Hopefully that's able to fix up. Yeah, because I saw, oh, what's this? Looks like El Suciudan, yeah, just working on heating up. Okay, that's odd. Yeah, Rafa is going to have to go back in unless... Yeah, there's no way. Alright, El Suciudan making his way around. Red Baron smashes into a wall, apparently. Maybe that happened, maybe it didn't. There we go. The critical thing here is that El Suciudan does not want to get his lap disallowed. That's a purple Sector 1 for El Suciudan. Now makes his way through Sector 2. DRS lap is open. Nice and cautious, he doesn't want to blow this lap. It's a tricky balance to have to play on. A little bit deep through the hairpin. And he's coming up on the back of one of the Alfa Romeos. Looks like there's not going to be anyone getting in the way here though. Hits the brakes. Cuts it. He's clean. El Suciudan coming in. This lap is looking very promising. Is this going to be it? El Suciudan onto pole position with a 109.551, just by 200ths ahead of Flex. Is there going to be any answer from Flex? I don't think that there is, nor from Kenny LaFleur. In fact, all of the top 5 are in the pits, and we're now going on board with Camborne. Going to see if he can get himself up any further. We've got RFX Rafa has been able to put himself up into 4th position. He'll be reasonably happy with that, I think. Cam, nice and aggressive here. He's coming up on the back of El Suciudan, I believe, but it could be Get Done. Oh no, it's Dan. Good job keeping out of the way, and Cam makes his way out to the hairpin. I think it's Le Bangle in French. Oh yeah, hey, I'll send an invite to you right now, Jay. Alright, Camborne. P7 Taylor Funk has come through with a very nice 6th place lap. And Prestige, I think that was... And we just set a 110.119. Alright, let's take a moment to go. Fiji Domo has set his fastest and is going to be starting in the top 10. It looks like no one is going to be starting in the top 10 on mediums. Interesting, interesting. It looks like Brother John is going to be the next person with the possibility of setting a lap here. Is he going to be able to get himself off of the back of the grid here? Alright, here we go. Coming through. This is looking good from Brother John. And that's 13th place for Brother John with a 1:11.601. He qualified on the mediums, and it's a little frustrating to qualify outside of the top 10 on mediums because he knows he could have been a little bit higher up. And I think that's going to be the final laps for every single driver. And there we have it. That's qualifying. So we find ourselves with El Sucio Dan on pole position with a 109.5. Just hundredths off, 200ths off of him is Flex in the AlphaTauri. Prestige is qualified in P3, pipping Kenny LaFleur with a 109.7. Kenny at the 109.9 in fourth place. Rafa is fifth, followed by Taylor Funk, Camborne, Raro, Fiji Domo, and Nameless Nate rounding up the top 10, each and every one of them on the softs. Meanwhile, Nameless Nate is followed by T. Goldie, Red Baron, Brother John, and Jayul Patel. And Get Dunked is the final qualifier, who will be starting in 15th place. Alright, and now here it is, the main event. Ladies, gentlemen, racers all, we are here at the beginning of the Formula Racing League Season 3 Canadian Grand Prix. They say the Canadian Grand Prix has been cursed in the past. Well, let's hope that this curse is finished as we are going to start up this race. El Sucio Dan, after a bit of an abortive start to his championship defense with the essentially cancelled race in Baku, now is going to see if he can convert this pole position into a win on Ile Notre Dame in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. So, if we're to make some predictions, I'm thinking I have a lot of faith in El Sucio Dan's race pace. I know how good that guy can be. I know Flex is also wildly consistent. And I think Rafa's due for a good result. Kenny LaFleur also always a threat. I think I'm gonna go with Dan, Flex, Kenny. Make your predictions right now if you'd like to. Alright, we're going to have no formation lap here. Reduce safety car. So let's see what comes. It's going to be an interesting situation that they're going to be dealing with here. Looks like dry conditions and probably going to be a very straightforward race in terms of the weather, which brings up, what is the strategy going to be? I could see a lot of people pushing for the one stop. There is the potential for an aggressive two-stopper. But for the most part, I'd be expecting to see most of these guys just doing one, especially, well, I don't know, it's tossed up just a touch because we have all of these top runners starting on the medium tires. The soft tires. So the question is, what's going to happen with everyone who's starting outside of the top 10? We don't really have anyone who is massively out of position. I think we're fairly reasonably sorted in terms of our qualifying places just at this moment. So we're 10 seconds from the lights going on. So please sit down, sit back, and enjoy this race as we are about to get going on the FRL Season 3 Canadian Grand Prix. El Sucio Dan on pole, Flex right beside him. 5 lights, and they're out. There we go, a little bit of action in the back. Kenny LaFleur getting a bit aggressive, goes up the inside! And Kenny pushes his way up to third, in fact up to second as he pushes his way through Flex. And Kenny LaFleur is able to secure second place. El Sucio Dan has had an excellent start. Oh, and here we go, a little bit of aggression here as Fiji Domo up the inside of Prestige. Oh, and that side of Prestige into the wall! Oh, that's a frustrating start, and that's going to drop him all the way down. Oh goodness, Flex also, right towards the very back. That has been a disastrous start for Flex. I thought he just got past there, but it looks like he lost a lot more. Brother John falling down through the positions, looking like he might be temporarily disconnected. Meanwhile, El Sucio then leading. Oh, big fight right further up. T Goldie goes wide around the outside, but he's not able to take Rafa. Nameless 8 spins out, and that's going to drop him. Brother John way off on the corner. Flex spinning his tires strangely in a way that I've never seen a car do before. And Brother John slowly making his way back onto the track. Some oddities here in the first lap. But we are led by El Sucio Dan, Kenny LaFleur, Taylor Funk, Raro, Camborne, Rafa, T Goldie, Get Dunked, Red Baron, Fiji Domo, Nameless Nate right on the outside of Fiji, but he's not able to make the move stick, and then Prestige following through. Following him is Flex and J.O. Patel doing a first lap pit stop. So yeah, I'm thinking off of these strategies, why don't we take a moment to have a look, not at the interval or the position change, but rather at the tires. So there's only Red Baron and Brother John who you'll be seeing, so everyone outside of the points has lost positions on the start here. The big winners, Raro having a mega start, up 5 positions. And he is now fending off Camborne. We've got Rafa right behind Taylor Funk. Taylor had a pretty impressive showing at his first race here. We've got Get Dunked right behind Rafa. The 3 drivers make their way through the final chicane. Nice and clean. El Sucio Dan, another fastest lap. And we've got a couple of gaps starting to form here as Get Dunked is a little ways back on T Goldie, holding on to 10th place. But he's got Red Baron, Fiji, and Nameless Nate right behind him. J.O. Patel yet further behind, and Flex is apparently not in last, is actually in... What? Okay, looking at the map here, it seems that Flex is in 13th, but oddities abound. Alright. For Richard, do the Shitty F1 Sim League proud. Name was named as one of the stewards of the Shitty F1 Sim League. Hey, but hey, how's it going? El Sucio Dan leading, and it's been a bit of a neutral start for Nameless Nate actually. All things considered, in terms of bad things happening to people, he's a minute through, but we've got some big spreads appearing very early on in this race. Camborne is following right behind Raro, who's having a very nice start to this race. The game is showing some definitely strange orders between the cars, so I'll try not to pay too much attention to that. Right now we've got Taylor Funk following right behind you. Let's see where some of the battles are going to be. We've got Nate, who's now following right behind Fiji Dumo. He's got 4 behind him, so he should be in 11th place. Disregard the numbers here. So both Nate and Fiji are going to want to be hauling this one up into the points, but there's still a lot of time left here. And there's a bit of a gap that's forming between the leaders and between this group. Ooh, that was almost a moment there for Nate, but he's staying nice and close to Fiji, and that's going to give him the DRS that he's going to need in order to make some aggression happen here. Ooh, that's a very tight cut. He won't want to be doing much more of that unless he wants to pick up a penalty or two. Prestige, his teammate, has already picked up a penalty. Coming in real close behind Fiji. Gonna go for the launch, a little bit of lawn mowing from the Williams, and now let's see if he can get a bit of a launch here. Fiji got an okay launch himself, but Nameless Nate's gonna be coming in behind here. Gonna be going for full deploy. Here we go. This is the move. Goes to the outside. Is there any space on the inside? He's through. Nameless Nate takes the position in the final corner from Fiji Domo, and he promotes himself up into 10th place. Disregard the numbers once again. The numbers are lying to you unless something super weird is happening with Flex. I'm really not qualified to say what exactly is going on with that. Yeah, oddities abound. Brojo, easy win. Hey there, Paulzak. Oh, we've got Jay right on the back of Flex there. It looks like we're still having some desync issues. It's got to be very frustrating for these drivers, but I guess oh goodness! That was a bad time for Prestige. Is his car looking alright? Seems that everything is physically intact. But goodness, not a happy moment there for Prestige. I think the order has actually gone back to what it's supposed to be. Oh no, I spoke too soon. Well, nonetheless, El Sucio Dan is actually leading. He's followed by Kenny LaFleur. Oh, Camborne has gotten through on Raro. I missed that a moment ago. And Taylor Funk now, right behind Raro as well. So we've got a tight little battle here for the third position. Just looking at pace history, you'd think that Cam has the ability to hold on to this, but Raro had a very nice start and held him for a long time, so he might be able to hold right behind. But he's going to have to be aware both of the car ahead and of the car behind. Little look back from Raro, making sure that Taylor isn't going to get a little bit too hungry here. But Taylor wants this. Yeah, that's exactly it. It's picking the wrong race leader and then getting terribly confused. And with the game desyncing as it is, it can only be getting worse and worse for that. Raro goes a little bit deep, and this is opening up a window for Taylor Funk. I can hear the heavy bass lines as he's coming in right behind. Oh, Fijidomo looks like he's going to pick up a penalty for maybe an illegal overtake there, but I can't look away from here for a moment. No, I can't. Here we go, Rafa and Red Baron. Side by side, and Rafa takes the position. Into the pits. And Rafa is going to be our first pitter. Nate making his way through. And that's a yellow in Sector 3. What's this? Fiji Domo spins out on the start-finish straight. Frustrating for Fiji, but you know what? This can be recovered. We know the safety cars do come. Joe Patel making his way through, and that is going. Is he going to be able to take this position? Yes, he is. And meanwhile, Rafa making his way out of the pits. And he is able to secure 13th position. He's now got some nice open track in front of him, and honestly, with the desync as it is, it's not at all a bad thing to have a lot of open track around you. So, back to the battle of Camborne, Raro, and Taylor Funk. It is a DRS train. None of them are letting Camborne get away. Raro making a move up the inside. He is through. He is ahead, and Raro secures it off as Camborne makes his way into the pits. Getting rid of those stops. This is definitely looking like two-stopper territory. And that's going to promote Raro back up into third place. Once again, disregard the lying numbers. Exactly, yeah, only champions spin there. He is indeed an excellent company. If we say, oh, that's a corner cut for Taylor Funk, who has been very aggressive on these corners here, but he is right on the rear end of Raro. That's a little alliterative. Now let's see what he's able to do here. Why don't we bring up a little bit of data here. So they're dead even here. Dead even on terms of the resources that they have available to bring to deployment. Meanwhile, it looks like there's a little bit of a fight raging a little bit further back here. Yeah, T Goldie right on the back of Jay. Oh no, Flex picks up a penalty speeding in the pit lane. Oh, that's not going to be a good time for him. T Goldie is able to make his way through. That is a car that is very... What on earth? What? What? Okay, huh. Well, yeah, take a screenshot right now, Brother John. You're, being shown as leading the race, but the actual leader at this moment is El Sucio Dan, who is coming up on Brother John right now. He is followed by, if I'm not mistaken, Prestige? Okay, this... No, that's wrong. What in heaven's name? Okay, just a moment. I'm gonna take a moment to figure out what position everyone is in. Nameless Nate picks up a time penalty. I think I just need to look at who's close to each other and just look at that and try to not think too much about the positions that everyone's in. JL Patel right on the back of T Goldie here. Fighting for some sort of position somewhere. It might be 9th, it might be 11th. You know, really, every position, every overtake does matter here. Oh, and we've got a pit stop for Nameless Nate. Nate making his way in. He's got a nice little gap behind him, I think. No, he is going to lose a couple positions from this pit stop. But there we go. He's putting on a second set of soft, so he's going to be going soft, soft, medium. Maybe aiming for a nice long run at the end. And Nameless Nate comes up, and he is just ahead of Red Baron. The Baron comes around, and his Alfa Romeo rival is just ahead. Oh, that's big. El Sucio Dan, actually, picking up a 3-second time penalty. So El Sucio Dan has made a pit stop onto medium tires. Now Flex is currently showing as ahead of him, but I believe that he would be properly read as a lap down. Yeah, I'm almost certain that didn't happen. I'm also almost certain that that didn't happen. It's definitely difficult casting race when I say the thing that you're seeing in front of you is probably imaginary. So maybe we'll look at something that's a little bit more trustworthy here, which is the age of the tires. I'm also almost certain that this is not happening. Much strangeness. There might be a battle between Taylor Funk and Kenny LaFleur happening. Ugh. I can scarcely describe what may be happening here. So, at any rate, what I think is happening in this race right now is I think that Brother John is... Okay, he's getting lapped. As is Flex. So El Sucio Dan is the one who's actually in the lead, followed by Prestige, followed by Kenny LaFleur, who is in a tight battle right here with... Oh, wait, no, that's with Flex, not with Taylor Funk. Alright. And, looking at this situation, is Flex a lap down, or is he in the lead group? Looking at this situation, I can't see what would have caused him to be a lap down, so I think he is genuinely in 5th place now. So the order should actually be El Sucio, Dan, Kenny LaFleur, Prestige, Taylor Funk, Flex, Cambor... No, not... Flex, Cambor, and Raro. Taylor Funk running very long on these softs. Is he going to pit in this lap? Yes, he is. Picked a good moment to spot that, but Brother John having an issue right there on the side. Meanwhile, RFX Rafa coming through. He's got these 5-lap-old mediums. Ooh! Spooky moment right there. Taylor Funk's pit stop taking a moment. Oh, and that seems like we had a little spin for Raro in the first corner. The penalties, they are accumulating, and now this is going to be a battle for position. Raro and Rafa duking it out. Nameless Nate right on the back of T Goldie at the same time. Alright, well, we're going to keep our eyes on these guys as best as we can. Oh, and Camborne is through on Prestige. T-Goldie chasing. Looks like Raro's got enough of a launch here on those 3-lap old medium tires that there's not going to be a terrible amount that Rafa can do. Not this lap, at least. So his role is simply to pursue. El Suciodan probably leads the race. Yeah. El Suciodan leading the race. Kenny LaFleur P2. Camborne P3. Prestige P4. Flex P5, who is just ahead of Raro, but Raro himself is being pursued by Rafa. I'm almost certain this isn't happening. Yes, I've just seen so much oddity happening around Flex's vehicle. I can scarcely tell what's up. Oh, we've got... I don't think this is happening either. Get dunked. Might have gotten through on Brother John. God, I don't know, Marty. I don't know if it's any better for the racers. I think that... wow. Oh my goodness, this is a poor showing from Codemasters. Honestly, like, I was really harshing on them last race, but this is just poor. This is mediocre by them, and they should be doing much better. I'm disappointed in Codemasters. So, at the moment, I just have to keep on going over who is in what position, because El Suciodan has built a 10-second lead over Kenny LaFleur. Camborne is chasing down Kenny LaFleur about 5 seconds back, with Raro pursuing, but Raro has Rafa all over the back of him. And, oh, there's a nice exit. Oh, I think there was a moment of contact there. And this is going to be very, very hard. Does Raro have anything to defend? I don't think he's going to defend this too hard. As Raro sees Rafa go through, and he holds on to his position. Behind them is Taylor Funk, who is pursuing in 8th place. Nameless Nate is sitting 7 seconds back on that. Get dunked, Brother John. And then we've got not El Suciodan. That's not where he is. We've got J.O. Patel, Red Baron, T. Goldie, and Fichi Domo. So now we've got a couple of Nate partisans. I wonder if perhaps Flex is disconnected, because the way his car has been driving seems to have been very slow. And it's driving... I'm always very hesitant to say it seems like the car's driving under AI control, because if they aren't, I've just really, really burned someone for no good reason. Yeah, that's rough. Alright, Red Baron going on to a set of mediums. Fijidomo. Oh no, another spin on the start-finish straight. So, if we're to look again, El Suciodan is actually leading the race. He is pursued. You know what, I don't know how many times I should keep on saying this, and just maybe take a look at the close races on track. But right now we've got a little bit of downtime. Rafa is through on Raro, but he does have a couple of penalties. Taylor Funk, in the meantime, is pursuing Raro. He's slowly closing the gap to his Aston Martin rival. And we'll see if he's able to get by. He's kind of low on his deployable energy, so that's going to make it a little bit more difficult to make the move when the time comes. Ooh, very deep through the chicane there. won't want to be getting more penalties. He can really just stack up those penalties here in Canada. He's following close, but it's not going to be close enough unless this is the mother of all lunges coming up. But instead, Taylor Funk is just taking this time to close in on the back of Rawrcopter. Couple of cars just casually phasing through each other. That was some quantum tunneling. Part of their new physics model is actually a quantum physics model, interestingly enough. El Sucio Dan makes his way through on the lap to Brother John and continues to lead this race. Oh dear, it looks like Brother John might have had another moment there. Very hard to find someone when they keep on shuffling around. This is worse than... Oh, goodness! The moment there for T. Goldie. But it looks like he just barely held it. Jail Patel is through on Prestige. And Flex picking up a couple of time penalties. So let's have a look at Flex, try and figure out where he actually is. So it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, that he is about half a lap down on El Sucio Dan. I believe he's in 5th place because Dan has 10 seconds on Kenny. Kenny is leading Cam. Cam leading Rafa. And then Rafa is followed. Oh, Taylor Funk has made his move on Rawr. Goodness. And all the chaos of trying to figure out what's happening, sometimes you just miss the moves as they come. But Taylor Funk has been able to make his way through, and he is up into, I think, 5th. Maybe 6th. Well, sometimes you just have to focus on your own race to the utmost of your abilities. Bravo is keeping a nice close gap here. And who's that behind him? Looks like that would be Fiji Domo, actually, but I think Fiji should be a lap down. But goodness, what do any of us know? Now we're going to see if Rawr is going to be able to keep a close enough gap. Looks like Taylor Funk is pulling a little bit of space here. But he went through the detection point close enough, and that is going to give Rawr the DRS that he needs to keep on chasing down Taylor Funk, at least for this lap. So looking at the strategies, we've got all of the top 6 on fairly old 13-lap medium tires. Brother John lapped through there. And actually that might have given Taylor Funk a little bit of space there. I see Nameless Nate coming into the pits right now. Is he going to put on some tires for the end? Yes. Looks like he's going to try and run 15-lap mediums, perhaps, or is he going to do a medium-soft move? I don't really see that happening, but could well be, could well be. Oh, what was that? Alright, so El Sucio Dan leading the race. Kenny LaFleur slowly falling back at a bit less than a second a lap. But Kenny has a commanding hold on second just as much as El Sucio Dan does on first place. And Camborne is currently following through as one of the current podium sitters. But again, knock on wood, many laps to go there. Oh, time penalty, Nameless Nate, a little bit aggressive on the corners. RFX Rafa follows Camborne in 4th. 5th for Taylor Funk, 6th for Rawr, 7th, no, not you, Brother John, oh my goodness, 7th for Get Dunked, 8th for Jay, 9th for Nameless Nate, and 10th is currently Red Baron, I think. Flex is something. Flex is presumably also in the race. Okay, so looking at this realistically, Flex seems to be behind Nameless Nate right now. or thereabouts. Alright, Nate chases down Jail, who's actually getting closer and closer to get dunked, but these tires are going to be hitting their limits. Oh, Kenny, into the pits! Kenny LaFleur pitting for what I suspect will be the final time. Get dunked goes a bit deep, and this is going to be an opportunity for Jail Patel to get on the power. But Get Dunked is able to pull ahead just a little bit. He has plenty of ERS to expend here. Meanwhile, Kenny LaFleur makes his way out in what I suspect is actually 6th place, since he is now just behind Raro, which makes sense. And I say that unsarcastically in this case. That does make sense given where they're relatively were located on the track. Alright, Jay continuing to follow Get Dunked, but Jay's tires are going to be at their very limit. Keep in mind, he is the only driver who is on softs. They are 10-lap-old softs at this point. Oh, he's a little bit wide through these corners, and that's going to cost some speed. And that allows Get Dunked to build up a bit more of a gap. He brakes. How much power can he get down? He's a little wide early on in the corner. It's always tricky figuring out exactly how you can balance that. We've got a Ferrari in the pits that would appear to be El Sucio Dan, the race leader. So let's go on board with Camborne, who, at least for the moment, is going to be coming out quite close, but he is a full pit stop behind on strategy here. So El Sucio Dan is able to comfortably take this, but Rafa getting a little bit aggressive on Camborne here. This is a battle for the podium, folks. And regardless of everything else that is happening, we know that this is going to be a major points fight with multiple points swinging either way depending on who takes this lead. Oh, and that's a bit of a moment for Rafa there. Is this going to allow Taylor Funk an opportunity to get in on the back of Rafa? Now, Rafa's tires are really getting towards their limit. He just wants to push these mediums a little bit longer, and then he can put on some nice soft shoes and just moonwalk his way through the last 10 laps. Looks like Prestige has just been demoted. El Sucio Dan retakes the lead after his pit stops. Taylor Funk continuing in close chase here. Nameless Nate through on Jail Patel. And with that, Nate is up to a position that is probably 9th or 8th or something like that. Taylor Funk right on the back of Rafa. After that little mistake that Rafa made, Taylor is just chasing him, harassing, seeing what he can do in order to put this Mercedes under threat, to harry him, harass him, and ultimately try to get through. Again, this is that very tricky corner where Rafa made the slight mistake last lap. We have, by the way, 11 laps remaining in this. Kenny LaFleur, who has pitted, is now right on the back of Raro. He came up behind him earlier, and now he's going to likely make short work of the Aston Martin. Maybe even before the hairpin here. Just swings the car through. Is he going to make a move up the inside? I don't know. Here we go. And a late break up the inside. Plenty of space given. Plenty of respect shown by both drivers. And Kenny LaFleur is through on Raro. Raro is almost certainly going to be doing the same strategy as many other of these front runners. Getting in. Prestige making his pits. Nope, not making his pit stop right now. He's showing disconnected to Rafa for the moment. Hopefully we don't have anything too awkward happen here. And that is going to allow both Rafa and Taylor Funk to make their way through. Now my question here is, what is going on with Flex? Has Flex actually been able to undercut these guys? Because I honestly could not say where Flex has been for half of this race. Get dunked. Oh, goodness! What? Well, that left me speechless. El Sucio Dan, at any rate, continues to lead this race, and he seems to just be a few seconds ahead of Flex. But Rafa himself is just behind. Okay, this is why we're always confused about Flex, because he seems to disappear and then get passed by everyone, and then he appears ahead of them. So Flex appears to be spun off at the moment. Let's just see what is happening here. Is he actually spun off? Was this an actual move that happened? Or is he going to suddenly reappear elsewhere on the track? That's what I don't know. Okay, so we'll come back to that at some other point, because right now, the big move here is Taylor Funk chasing down Rafa. This is for second place on track right now. So Flex might be still in this. Well, Rafa, now up in second place here. And it's interesting to see what exactly is happening here. So we've got Taylor Funk, who has been just harrying Rafa, trying to push him into a mistake, but Rafa's built up a small gap here, which is going to make any offense a little bit more difficult. We've got some aggression further behind. That's Joe Patel on Red Baron. A little bit of a battle here for the lower positions. Potential for points still on offer for these two. Is he going to throw it up the inside? Yes, he is. Oh, that's a very aggressive move. And it looks like Jay is able to take it with a huge lunge into the hairpin. Meanwhile, we've got Raro right behind Flex, who may or may not... Yeah, that's classic appearance of desync right here. Yeah, Huh. That's curious. My telemetry is going to look extremely strange this race, I've got to say. So, Flex is showing up at the hairpin, presumably. Okay, that's still him. So here we have race leader El Suciadan making his way through. He's got some cars ahead to lap. It's a time, as we're getting late into the race, to have a little look at the penalties here. So looking at strategies, Rafa is on very, very old mediums. He's going to have to pit, and that is going to put Kenny LaFleur comfortably ahead of him. As you can see, Kenny's just a short ways behind. Brother John has been running some very long-running strats, and with other people pitting, it's actually pushed him all the way up into 4th position, just a short way behind Kenny. So Brother John really ghosting his way through this race, but doing a good job of it. Taylor Funk is on 15-lap-old mediums. I'm trying to figure out at what moment did Brother John start being ahead of Taylor Funk. But apparently that happened. Camborne has pitted, and he is on the softs, so he is going to be running very, very fast. So I would like to see what's going on with the Cam sphere here, because he's just going to be chasing down. I think he could get all the way up to Kenny, who's currently 3 positions ahead of him. Raro is on 3-lap-old medium, so she's going to be able to comfortably take to the end, and he is followed by our friend, yours and mine, Nameless Nate. Or is he? I think he is. Then Get Dunked in 10th position. And the whirlwind merry-go-round nonsense confusion Jackson Pollock splatter of the race. It's a bit befuddling. Nonetheless, right now we've got Kenny LaFleur who's chasing down Rafa. Is Rafa actually going to try and make this ridiculous strategy work? I realize now Rafa is not going to pit he is going to try taking these tires right to the bitter end. And bitter it is going to be. So with 23 lap old tires, they're going to be 28 laps old at the end. Kenny is just going to be chasing him down. That's Taylor Funk, who is saying, hey, I'm not taking these any further. I don't know what you crazies are doing. Robert coming through. He's going to get himself promoted nicely up ahead. And here comes Taylor Funk out of the pits, and that's going to put him right near Prestige. And there we go. Taylor Funk is able to hold on to 7th position. Prestige, however, just behind him now. But with those 7-lap-old mediums, he's not going to be chasing him now. The chase we're going to see is going to be with a guy who I've been trying to get to, but the cars keep on moving around because the order is changing constantly, is Camborn. So Cam is chasing Kenny. Kenny making his way through on Rafa here. Is there anything Rafa can do? It's actually starting to fog up a little bit here. Goodness, could we be looking at rainy conditions right at the very end of this race? Oh, we've got a safety car! Red Baron has DNF'd, and we have a safety car. Both these drivers lunging in. Rafa, LaFleur, both pitting, and they're going to be putting on softs. Rafa is able to get through first, and oh goodness, what? What a coup! Meanwhile, Camborn has already made his pit stop, so he is going to be able to make his way around. The safety car is just up ahead, but he's going to be able to cruise on through. What's this going to do for El Sucio Dan? Dan, well, the only move is to pit, really. And what about Camborn? Yeah, that puts Camborn effectively in 2nd position. He's got slightly older softs, so Cam could suddenly find himself in 2nd position on track here. Pursued again by Rafa and Kenny LaFleur, who Rafa just gets away with some murder right there, as he is running so incredibly long and then gets a late safety car to put on some softs. And not only that, but he pulls out ahead of his rival. That is something right there. So Taylor Funk on 1-lap holes. Prestige finds himself in P6. Raro running P7. He's pitted for softs. Brother John the same. Doesn't want to be stuck in a crowd on those hards, so he finds himself in the lower points positions. Nameless Nate is going to be able to catch up with the rest here. He's on softs. Get dunked. Keeping these mediums around. That's his JL Patel, T Goldie, and Fiji Domo. Yeah, we're getting a bit of this desync activity here. Codemasters, what the? Well, that was that? That was Prestige just sort of teleporting when the game says he's in the pits. Well, that's definitely curious. Alright, so, focusing on the safety car here, it's going to take a long time for all these drivers to get back up into a single group here. I think they're going to release the safety car before we actually have everyone grouped up here. So let's take a look at this lead group. It is El Sucio Dan. Flex is somehow up here again. Yeah, Camborn. How did Flex get... What? What? Okay, so I've seen Flex disappear, just get pummeled, crashed off, and then just sort of reappear near the lead. I don't really understand what's happening. I'll just try to accept it as it is. El Sucio Dan apparently leads Flex in 2nd. Camborn is not in 2nd, he is in fact in 3rd. Rafa is in P4, followed by Kenny LaFleur. Taylor Funk. Raro is just going to be coming up on the back of this safety car group. And then pursuing him is Brother John and Nameless Nate. We've got Get Dunked just behind, followed by JL Patel. T Goldie is a little ways behind JL Patel. And then Fiji Domo down 1 lap. Or thereabouts. Brother John is somewhere. I I think that Brother John should be in 6th, shouldn't, or 8th, you know, 6th, 8th. Yeah, I won't pretend to fully understand what's going on. I will merely present what I can see and what seems to make sense. And what seems to make sense is that Flex has actually been racing this whole time, and we've just been seeing horrible alternate universe ghost of him traveling around, a terrible specter of Christmas past. Or something like that. Alright. They're grouping up here. I think we might get one more lap under the safety car before everyone is sent out on their way. Oh no, we're getting the safety car in this lap. So, well, everyone in the top 10 is on softs, everyone outside of the top 10 is on mediums. I don't think we need to look at that particular stat anymore. Now I think we want to be looking at penalties. Right now, Dan has 9 seconds of penalties. He could potentially lose this win, this race that he's dominated, because of the penalties that he's picked up. Oh no! What has happened there? Well, Jay apparently got a penalty for a collision with Brother John, but, well, El Sucio then just needs to build up a gap here because he has the biggest set of penalties of anyone in the top 5 positions. So here we go, El Sucio then leading it away, and he is just going to have to put the hammer down if he wants to take this. We got a little battle here for second. It's Camborne, it's Flex. Oh, and right behind Rafa. Goodness, who knows what's happening with Flex again. His car is just showing up as a ghost. A dread apparition, once again. They got absolutely walled right there. Anyways, Kenny LaFleur, Camborne, RFX Rafa chasing down El Sucio Dan. Dan is just thinking, oh god, oh god, oh god, I need to get these positions right now. Because right now he is going to lose a podium because of this late safety car that happened. And that's the pain of the penalties here in Canada. There's so little you can do in order to make the recovery happen. We've got some activity further back down, as we've got Kenny LaFleur going a little bit deep, Taylor Funk chasing, Raro, and then maybe Flex. Get Dunk, J.O. Patel, Brother John T. Goldie, Prestige, and Fiji Domo. Or something like that, I don't really know. So here we go, this is it. This is the time trial. He needs to make up 1.5 seconds if he wants to beat Camborne. He needs to make up even more than that, but I think Rafa is going to take this race because he has been able to keep the cleanest race with the fewest penalties, and those penalties do so very much when you get a late safety car like you did in this race. So right now, we're looking at a potential race win for RFX Rafa. Meanwhile, Kenny LaFleur, who also has 8 seconds of penalties, is going to find himself just leading Taylor, but Taylor's got 18 seconds, so Taylor Funk, who's raced such a great race, is going to find himself just catapulted backwards by the compression of the grid that happened here. We are on the final lap, and we are led by El Sucio Dan, who's built up 2 seconds to RFX Rafa. He might... No, there's no salvaging a podium here. Look at that. He's going to get thrown, all the way down, I think, to 4th or 5th place here. El Sucio Dan leading. He's been the fastest all day, but he wasn't clean enough, and that is what is going to give this win to RFX Rafa, unless a mistake happens in this, the final corner, coming through the chicane, going past the wall of champions. But RFX Rafa, you are a race winner in Season 3, or maybe Flex 1. I don't know. The Flex is just sort of traveling around ships in the night or whatnot. We're trying to figure out what's happening here as all of the penalties are getting sorted out here right now. Brother John might be able to get that penalty removed, since I think that was from J.O. Patel running into him under the safety car. Not 100% sure. But the race is finished, and in the end, it looks like Flex was actually in the race. And we have Rafa, Flex, El Sucio Dan, Camborne, Raro are the top 5 of this incredibly hard to follow race. Congratulations to Get Dunked Driver of the Day. Alright, here we go. Rafa with a victory. El Sucio Dan, you know, his avatar is smiling, but he's got to be frustrated with that. He was so dominant this race. But, you know, that's why you have to be careful. You know, you can't just be totally disregarding the penalties because something can happen. You know, Red Baron can have an accident late on, or anyone can really, and that can bring up the safety car. And that's what it takes to get Rafa back into the race. What an incredible finish that is for Rafa, just considering what that took. He was on 22-lap-old mediums, getting swamped by Kenny LaFleur. He ends up in first. Kenny ends up in sixth. With everything changing, and they had perfect positioning to get that late safety car. I'd like to see what happened there, since I'm sure there was a little bit of argy-bargy going on there. But El Sucidan still has the fastest lap, faster by his second in his best time compared to Rafa. And there you have it. Rafa, Flex, El Sucidan, Camborne, Bravo, Kenny LaFleur, Get Done Prestige, Taylor Funk, Nameless Nate closing out the points scoring positions ahead of T Goldie, Brother John, Jail Patel, Fiji Domo being down 1 lap, and Red Baron crashing just a few laps before classification. This has been Chaos Casting for Formula Racing League. Thank you very much for tuning in. I know, what a ridiculous strat for Rafa. That was something right there. So thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll be coming to you live next on Thursday for our community night.